human need to explore is deep within all of us. Our ancestors crossed mountain ranges, sailed open oceans to map new lands, and sought out the unknown, while always looking to the stars. We're curious, and now we're at a place where we can pioneer new horizons. Now is the time.
You, Shepard, have cleared the tower?
To open the promise of space to all.
Yes, guys, we're doing it!
And lay the way for generations to come. When our descendants look to the stars, they'll remember this time. When they reflect on where it started, they'll remember this place. And when they honor those first explorers who said, "Let's go," they'll remember these bold steps. We are of blue origin. And this,
that's right there, is go for death,
is just the beginning.
Welcome back, everyone. It's another great night for a launch attempt for our new rocket, New Glenn. Denise, thank you once again for joining me.
Thank you. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Here for it no matter what.
I hear you on that. Glad you're here for it. We introduced you the other night. You're a principal engineer on the New Glenn program. It's always good to have someone with a deep technical background here for the webcast. Now, picking up from where we left off a few nights ago, we had our first attempt at this NG-1 launch, and the team had trouble a couple technical issues along the way, which exceeded our available launch window, and we had to call a scrub.
Yeah, the team realized that the scrub was due to ice forming in a purge line on the auxiliary power unit that powers some of our hydraulic systems. Now, of course, auxiliary power units, or APUs, these will provide power to a variety of systems. It includes some of our hydraulics and other actuating surfaces.
Now, I'll say again, we've prepared rigorously for this first flight. Anything beyond our first objective, which is reaching orbit safely, is going to be a bonus. We know landing the booster on the first time is ambitious, but you know what? We are going for it.
And no matter what happens, we're going to learn so much. We'll refine, and we're going to apply that knowledge to our next launch.
And yes, that booster landing, we are really going to go for it. It's a key part of our first flight, and we really can't wait to see what happens with the booster. And yes, we recognize here at Blue Origin, it is incredibly hard to pull off, especially for the first time you try it, but you might even say we're just a little crazy to try it on the first flight, but the data we get for flying the complete mission profile is incredibly valuable.
You know, in fact, the attempt that we went through just the other night really netted us data about our vehicle, about our operations. So even though we didn't lift off, just going through the countdown in launch control was so valuable for our team. It is our goal to net immense amounts of collective knowledge about our vehicle as we build up our program, and that knowledge base is already growing.
I want to remind you that we have an early technology demonstration for Blue Ring on this flight. Now, this isn't the full Blue Ring vehicle. It is a Pathfinder featuring core subsystems that we want to validate. It's a non-separating payload that is going to stay attached to the second stage through its entire 6-hour mission duration. So it is another exciting day, and we are just so glad that you are back here joining us for this launch attempt. Once again, it's not just Denise and me. We got a couple other faces helping us bring you all of the action today. Why don't we check in with Maggie McNeese from our government team in our DC office. She's reporting from upstairs in Mission Control. Maggie, you there?
I am here so long as you're here and my friends here in Mission Control are here. I'm going to stay.
Okay, good. All right, welcome back to our next launch attempt. Maggie, do you want to remind our viewers where you're standing up there? You are just one floor above us. What's around you? What's the action?
I've got Mission Control right here on my right. Just down the hallway a little bit is our Launch Control Center. These rooms have our controllers, our engineers, everybody who's working to make this launch a success today.
Love it. Thank you so much, Maggie. We're going to patch you in as we go. Why don't we check in now with Eddie Seifert back at nearby Cars Park. Our Florida employees once again are gathering for a second attempt. They are hardcore. Eddie, are you there?
Yeah, Ariane, welcome to the best seat in the house. This is fun. We're having a blast out here.
Another day, another employee gathering to cheer on New Glenn. An odd question, because I think I know the answer. How are everybody's spirits down there?
We are happy to be here. We're so proud that we get to be together, a part of the community. We're, hanging with each other and sharing hot dogs and huddling together for warmth. But we're most looking forward to the rumble of the BE-4s, looking at that blue streak across the sky. And now this crew behind me, they've committed to cheer more loudly than the BE-4s. And that's what I'm looking forward to.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Y'all stay warm out there. We're going to keep you on speed dial, Eddie, as we continue with this show. Additionally, we also have employees at our other sites across the nation checking in and rooting for New Glenn. Let's see how they're doing. We have sites across the country. There we go. We've got Huntsville, Alabama, our headquarters in Kent, Washington. What up, guys? We can see you out there. We have our flag bearer from the other night. He has not given up, that guy. Kent, Washington, again, our headquarters, where we work on all the projects. And then, of course, Huntsville, Alabama, where we build our BE-4s and our BE-3Us, as well as the Blue Ring system. They are ready to go. This is a big night for all of our employees across the country. Kudos to you guys. Let's do this, Blue Origin. All right, we are here at T-minus 13 minutes to go until launch. Why don't we check out the star of the show, New Glenn at the pad here as this rocket gets ready for its first launch ever. Welcome back, everybody. We are at T-minus 11 minutes and 12 seconds to go until New Glenn's first launch ever, NG-1. So many of the people behind this mission are not only critical parts of the New Glenn operation, they're also super passionate people who are dedicated to the larger mission at Blue Origin. And you can tell because so many of them, including you and I, Denise, are ambassadors on behalf of Blue Origin's Club for the Future.
Yeah, you're an ambassador, I'm an ambassador. There's actually thousands of us here at Team Blue. Club for the Future is Blue Origin's nonprofit to inspire and mobilize future generations to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. These kids are tomorrow's aerospace workers.
Yeah, Club for the Future is a perfect example of how we here at Blue Origin can do something about inspiring the next generation. We have a program where kids, parents, anyone can draw on a digital postcard. We'll send it to space, and they'll receive it back as space-flown piece of art. And today, we have digital postcards that are actually going up to space on New Glenn.
That's just so fun. That's the kind of thing I would have loved as a kid, and I know that my children also love making those postcards.
All right, I understand we are ready for a go, no go poll. Let's stand by. All right, thank you again, everybody, for joining us for NG1. We were very close to getting into that go, no go poll. Unfortunately, we have had to go into a hold, and as you've seen there, we are now at T-minus 34 minutes. Unfortunately, there is a boat that has errantly come into the cleared range, and we're going to have to clear that boat out. So that is going to take us some time here. As we have said before, our #1 objective this evening is to get to orbit safely. And that includes not just the rocket, not just our teams, but everybody in the area, including people on boats. So with that, we're going to continue to watch New Glenn here for a moment as we get ready for New Glenn 1. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us for New Glenn's first launch to space. We are T-minus 28 minutes and 10 seconds to go until launch. If you've been joining along, we got very close to a go, no go poll there, but we understand that there is a boat that is downrange where we don't want it to be. So we are waiting to clear that vessel from out of the way. Otherwise speaking, I'm hearing from Mission Control, the weather is looking good, the vehicle is looking good. We are just waiting for that vessel to clear the area. And then, you know what? It's go time. So stick with us, everybody, as we get ready for New Glenn's first launch to space. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us. We are at T-minus 20 minutes and 30 seconds to go until launch. As noted, we got down very close to our go, no go pole, but then we noted an errant boat downrange, which we are still working to clear. So we've got a couple more minutes here. But while we've got a couple more minutes, Denise, I'd like to get a little deeper into New Glenn. We've got a lot of new viewers this evening. Do you want to give our audience a sense of what sets this vehicle apart from current and historic launch vehicles? Absolutely. Well, to start, it's just massive at over 320 feet tall, or almost 98 meters. Just to think about that, that's like a 32-story building. It's really hard to describe what that means, but another way to think about it is, you know, we all know and love New Shepards. You could stack 5 New Shepards end to end, and that's about the size of New Glenn. So our viewers can see there on the screen there, that's we actually could stick one of those in the fairing of New Glenn, actually. So, you know, it's remarkable to see the jump from New Shepard to New Glenn. We talk about our motto, gradatum ferociter, step by step ferociously. That is a pretty ferocious step we've decided to take. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. So New Shepard could fit inside of our payload fairing with even room to spare on the sides. Our fairings are just that big. And again, as fun as that would be, we don't really need to ship New Shepard off to another planet anytime soon. But that said, it does speak to future capabilities such as, say, moon landers, right? We're working on our Blue Moon lunar lander that we are working with our friends at NASA on, or other large vehicles that are similar in size to New Shepard. What's so brilliant about that 7-meter fairing is not, you know, when you pair the 7-meter fairing and all the volume that's in there, plus the power of New Glenn, we can take a lot of things to a lot of different destinations, orbits, planets, the moon with this rocket. And the versatility of this rocket is what makes it so important to not only Blue Origin with our own vehicles, but all of our other customers, right? You know, this vehicle is so large, and it's not often that people get to stand up close to a rocket. You know, and we showed this the other night during the first broadcast, but you and I got a chance a couple of days ago to walk next to this rocket, and man, oh man, there's some footage there. God, it's huge. It's one of the things that I think I will remember the most from this whole experience. You know, we spent years just engineering the requirements and building it and testing it, and then the first time that you stand in front of this vehicle fully stacked is just breathtaking. It was just so cool to get to be so close to that rocket, and it's just so much bigger than words and figures can describe. So you saw there a second ago we were just walking out of the flame trench. And I mean, of all the many things that I'm looking forward to this evening, watching the water deluge system, we talked about it during the last webcast, the water is going to come streaming out of the water tower, which is one of the tallest water towers, the largest water towers ever built. It's going to suppress the vibration and the acoustics, and it's going to come flying out of that flame trench, and you and I were standing in it. And so when just the scale of everything, the rocket and all the infrastructure around it, when you get up close and personal, you realize the scale of what we're dealing with. You truly do feel like you're just an ant when you stand next to it, right? You know, but going back to it, one of the things that I think is a key difference between New Glenn and other rockets that might have lifted off this pad in the past is really that reusability. So while the scale of New Glenn is truly remarkable, I mean, this rocket is built for big things with an incredible lift capability. It does it in a way that's sustainable and reusable, and that's really innovative and really special. Yes, reusability. Really glad you brought that up, because it's such a critical component to reducing the cost of future access to space. And you can't say enough about how important it is. When we started this company a long time ago, it was all about reducing the cost of access to space. And you can really, at the end of the day, there's no other way to do it other than coming up with vehicles that are reusable. And that is why, you know, we started with New Shepard, which is a reusable vehicle. We took a lot of the same concepts and transferred that over into New Glenn. But go back to the size for a second.
Yeah, I mean, so we all know and love the Saturn V, and rocket fans know this. Just like Saturn V and other big rockets, rockets fly in stages, and the job of the first stage, or what we sometimes call the booster, is to lift the vehicle from Earth up into space. The stages will then separate, and it's the second stage that powers our payloads into orbit.
And, you know, you guys, for some of our viewers who maybe aren't as huge rocket nerds as we are, the Saturn V is what took Apollo missions and astronauts to the moon. So you get a sense of the scale with that vehicle. And, well, you know, we might be just a little bit smaller than that, not by a lot. It's only about 10%. Like, we are going to also be taking people and vehicles to the moon and beyond with this vehicle. So as we say, this is going to be our workhorse vehicle for decades to come, which is why we are so excited about this launch. It really is a historic launch in the sense that we intend, this is day one. We are opening a new chapter for not only Blue, but for spaceflight capability and for customers around the world to be able to put things into space for less. And who knows what that's going to open the doors to. So that's our baby. That's our New Glenn in a nutshell. For those of you that are less familiar with this rocket, obviously we're super proud of this vehicle, and we cannot wait to send it up to space in just T-minus 13 minutes and 50 seconds to go until launch. Let's turn it back to the rocket and listen in as it gets ready to go to space. Please set up Blair. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us. We are at T-minus 9 minutes and 40 seconds to go until launch. We are awaiting here the go, no go poll for New Glenn's first launch to space. Now, at this point, we're going to throw it over to launch control. They're going to go around the room and see if we are ready to go to space. Keep in mind that upstairs we have our launch control and our mission control room. In the mission control room, we have the team that is managing our Blue Ring Pathfinder payload this evening. As we mentioned on the last webcast, I'm particularly proud of our Blue Ring team. It's the team that I help lead here at Blue Origin. They have been working very hard on this payload, and they are ready that as soon as the second stage separates from the first stage, the fairings will deploy, and it is heading out to MEO, to Middle Earth orbit, where it is going to remain up there orbiting the Earth for about 6 to 8 hours or so, collecting various data, checking all of the various systems, primarily telecom systems there. You see poll coming in here. Stand by.
Go pending L-10 actions in work.
Roger, report when those are complete. Recovery.
Go.
PLI.
Go.
LSO.
Go.
OSM.
Go.
RC.
Go.
ESR.
Go.
AC.
Go.
And BMD.
Go.
LD is go as well. All stations LD on count 1 with the terminal count. Briefing all personnel remain in current positions until launch. Maintain operational silence in the control room. All controllers move to count 1 for launch. If a constraint is observed between now and launch, commit. Announce hold, hold, hold on count 1. Briefly state reason. OSM LD set hold fire switch to launch position.
Launch.
And LD is in launch. Guido, verify, abort, request, flag, false.
Abort request is false.
Roger.
Launch. This is our first flight, and obviously we've prepared rigorously for it. But no amount of ground testing or mission simulation is a replacement for flying this rocket. Our key objective today is to reach orbit safely. Anything beyond that is a bonus. And believe me, we are nothing if not persistent. Now we're getting very, very close here. T-minus 6 minutes and 30 seconds to go until launch. Our terminal count is beginning in just a few minutes. You just heard it right there. We are go for launch this evening. But one important aspect of our rocket that we haven't really touched on today, our New Glenn rocket is called New Glenn. It is named after an American hero, John Glenn, the first American to orbit Earth, circling it 3 times in 1962.
He also served as a U.S. Senator for more than 2 decades in the state of Ohio. And then amazingly, Senator Glenn flew to space again in 1998 at the age of 77 on board the Space Shuttle Discovery STS-95 mission.
Now, this gentleman led an incredible life. He died in 2016 at the age of 95. But shortly before he died, our founder, Jeff Bezos, was able to connect with the senator and tell him that we hope that he'd be willing to lend his name to Blue's first orbital rocket. And we have here a copy of the letter that he sent back. You can see it is really meaningful to us. Just a moment, let me read you a couple of words. When I first orbited the Earth in 1962, you were still 2 years from being born. And when I returned to space in 1998, Blue Origin was still 2 years in the future. But you were already driven by a vision of space travel accessible not only to highly trained pilots, engineers, and scientists, but to all of us. I'm deeply touched that you've named the second generation of those rockets New Glenn. As the original Glenn, I can tell you, I see the day coming when people will board spacecraft the same way millions of us now board jetliners. When that happens, it will be largely because of your epic achievements this year.
I get goosebumps every time. You know, he's the first American to orbit Earth, and I've seen that letter hanging in our headquarters building in Kent.
Yeah, it's one of our treasured artifacts. Everybody, we're at T-minus 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go until launch. We are very close. We are coming up here on terminal count. Do not go anywhere.
T-minus 4 minutes and counting. Terminal count active. Safing timer started. EF safing pins disengaged. T-minus 3 minutes, 30 seconds. Upending system armed. Magic charge initiated.
Our team is now securing all the commodities to our first stage and our second stage. They're also going to be draining and purging all the umbilicals that are supplied to New Glenn.
T-minus 3 minutes. GS2 hydraulic secured. Magic charging complete. T-minus 2:30. GS1 pre-press start.
We are now pressurizing the tanks to their flight pressures. Of course, this is crucial
GS2
for the
chilled
performance
pre-press
of our engines. Getting ready for launch.
T-minus 2 minutes.
We're now going to be switching off the ground power supply and transitioning New Glenn to its internal vehicle batteries. When this happens, the vehicle is now powering itself. Let's do this, New Glenn.
T-minus 1:30. Power internal.
There it is, New Glenn is alive.
T-minus 60 seconds. Range green. AFSS flight enabled. APU's running. T-minus 30 seconds. GS1 at flight level. GS2 at flight level. Big water start.
That's a big water command. There's a water deluge. Here we go, New Glenn.
It's time to do this. Let's light this candle.
Autopilot enabled. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 1. Lift off. All
7 engines at full thrust. Chamber pressures are good. Vehicles cleared the tower. Now passing 18 seconds into flight. Engine chamber pressures look good. 27 seconds in, vehicles now begun the pitch roll maneuver to point down range. Body rate responses are nominal. Chamber pressures continue to look good. Now 40 seconds into flight.
Oh my God!
End of roll, strakes now level. Chamber pressures continue to look good. 50 seconds in. Data quality looks good coming down from the vehicle. Chamber pressures continue to look nominal. 1 minute into flight. All 7 engines continue to look good on the first stage. Data quality is good coming down from the vehicle. Body rate responses are nominal. 1 minute, 15 seconds into flight.
As we build a road to space for the benefit of Earth.
Profile looks good. Engines continue to perform well. Now passing 1 minute, 30 seconds into flight. Passing Mach 1. New Glenn is now supersonic. Engines continue to perform well. Now passing through max Q, maximum dynamic pressure. Body rate responses are nominal throughout the boost phase. Data quality continues to look good. Chamber pressure is looking good. All 7
pass through max Q, maximum dynamic pressure. The toughest part of the flight on that vehicle, we have
now passing 2 minutes into flight.
And New Glenn continues
Chamber pressures
its
continue to look
ascent
good
to
on all
space.
7 B4 engines. Acceleration profile is good. Body rates look good. 1 minute to MECO. B3U LH2 chill-in started. The E4s continue to perform well throughout the boost phase. Now passing 2 minutes, 30 seconds into flight. Trajectory is nominal. Two minutes, 40 seconds. Approximately 30 seconds remaining in boost phase.
And here we are, coming up
Chamber
on
pressures on all
MECO.
7
Main engine cut off. Let's stand by for that.
Continue to look good. Stage 2 RCS priming. Now passing 3 minutes. And we have MECO. We have stage set. And we have ignition on both BE3Us. Chamber pressure is good. Now passing 3 minutes, 40 seconds into flight. Body rates look good. Data quality coming down from both stages. Looks good. GS2 performing a pitch-up maneuver. Body rate response is nominal. BE3U chamber pressure continues to look good. We have good payload fairing jettison.
Separation confirmed of the 2 stages.
Tank pressures are within their limits.
Stage 2 is now continuing its launch and flight up to
Now
MEO.
passing 4 minutes, 20 seconds into flight.
Our booster is going to try to make a landing.
Less than 3 minutes now remaining
You
to
see the landing target out there in the ocean. We are going to land on the Jacklyn, the landing ship that is awaiting this beautiful booster to make a landing.
GS2 bottles look good. Trajectory looks good on both stages. 4 minutes, 50 seconds into flight. Now passing 5 minutes, 10 seconds into flight. thrust on both BE3Us continues to look good. 5 minutes, 20 seconds in. Less than 2 minutes now remaining to GS1 engine ignition.
Thank you again, everybody, for joining us for New Glenn's first launch to space so far. 5 minutes and 30 seconds into launch. Everything continues to be nominal. A clean separation of stage 1 from stage 2. Stage 1, our booster. We are looking to land it on our landing ship, Jacklyn. There you see its targeted landing spot where the feather is there. And stage 2, carrying the Pathfinder for Blue Ring, will continue its mission up towards MEO orbit, where we will be collecting data for 6 hours. But let's continue to watch here as the two vehicles continue on their way.
Good, both BE3Us. Confirm GS1 engine chill active. Less than 1 minute now remaining to exo-atmospheric engine ignition. 6 minutes, 30 seconds into flight.
So coming up here, we're going to see the middle of the 3 7BE4 engines on the booster light up.
Good. Chamber pressures on both BE3Us.
This is going to slow the vehicle down, and then as the vehicle gets closer to the landing ship, the Jacklyn, the 2 outer of the 3 middle engines will shut off, and just 1 in the center will remain to help slow as well as guide the vehicle back to the landing ship. As you've also seen on the booster vehicle, we have the steering fins at the top of the booster, as well as the strakes, which act essentially as wings. This vehicle is flying back to the Jacklyn, providing lift to come in for a nice, soft, and vertical landing onto the landing ship, the Jacklyn.
Seeing good chamber pressures on both BE3Us.
All 3 engines relight confirmed.
Body rates look good on GS2. Continuing through its planned burn. Now 7 minutes, 45 seconds in. Seeing good MR response on the B3U engines, seeing good throttle profile. Chamber pressures continue to look good throughout the burn. 8 minutes, 20 seconds into flight. GS2 tank pressures staying within their acceptable limits. Body rate responses look good. Chamber pressures look good throughout the burn. 8 minutes, 40 seconds in. Now passing 9 minutes into flight. Continue to see data from both stages. GS2 data quality continues to look good throughout the burn. Chamber pressures, both engines staying very close to each other. GS2 trajectory is nominal. Less than 3 minutes now remaining in the GS2 burn.
Thank you again, everybody, for joining us. Wow, what a moment so far. We obviously have some frozen data here on our stage 1, on our booster. We're still waiting to understand what the situation is with the booster. Meanwhile, our second stage, GS2, continues
10 minutes, 20 seconds into
its
flight.
ascent, as well as its climb towards MEO, which is where it is headed this evening. We are still waiting.
Continue to see good throttle response
Again,
on both
our
the
first
engines.
our primary objective, getting to
rates,
orbit
continue to
safely.
look stable
Let's stand
throughout
by
the
here.
Tank pressure is staying within acceptable limits. Bottle pressures look good. Data quality continues to look good throughout the GS2 burn. $11 minutes, 10 seconds into flight. GS2 is now 1,700 kilometers downrange, traveling at 6.7 kilometers per second. Data looks good coming down from TDRS. Both BE3Us continue to look good, tracking nicely in chamber pressure. Body rate responses are stable. 12 minutes, 10 seconds into flight. We have IAP vanish. GS2 is now orbital. And we have engine cutoff. Body rates look good following engine cutoff.
Thank you again, everybody, for joining us. Seco, we cut off the engines on the second stage. What does that mean? That means that we hit our key, critical, #1 objective. We got to orbit safely. Congratulations, Blue Origin. Y'all have gone orbital. What a day. We see our team down in Huntsville, our teams in Kent. I know the team out at Cars Park down here in Florida. They are all losing their minds. Congratulations, everybody. What a day. We are in space. We've got our Blue Ring Pathfinder ready to warm up, ready to start drawing in all of that great information. What a day. We're going to go to Cars Park here. We have Eddie Seifert.
14 minutes, 10 seconds.
Hey, Ariane, we are so happy to be here at Rocket Park, our orbital launch site. This team is so proud that we got to orbit. What an incredible rumble from the B4 engines. This was such an experience to live together, to be a part of this community.
Amazing. You can feel the energy. What a fantastic day. Thank you, Eddie. To the whole team, again, congratulations on getting to orbit. Now, I know all of you are tuning in. We're still trying to get all of the data here. We seem to have lost telemetry on the first stage, on the booster. We very well may have lost the booster. We are still coming in with all of the information. I want to make sure that we get you the right information. But nonetheless, the main objective that we were going for this evening is that we hit orbit. And now I do have confirmation that we did in fact lose the booster. You can see from the map there how close physically the booster got to making its landing. Of course, we'll have all of the information on what exactly happened with the booster in the last moments. As you did hear, we did have the booster relight the 3 middle engines, which is what we were looking for. So things we know were good up until that point. But we just need to go through the data. And of course, after the show, on all of our social media channels, we are going to have more information on those details. But key here, we hit our main objective. We got to orbit safely. Let's go up to mission control and launch control. Maggie, what's going on upstairs right now? I bet our team is pretty excited.
The fives, Ariane, they were high. The bumps were fisted. It was, oh my gosh, it was electric. I've got these people here. They're still working. They've been standing up. They've been sitting down. The folks behind me are celebrating. It is a good night here up in Mission Control. Obviously, you know, as you mentioned, lost the booster, but there is still a lot of work going on. We've got these guys in Mission Control, guys and gals in Mission Control, ready to keep watching our second stage, see if that Blue Ring Pathfinder can continue on its mission. And, you know, the work's going to continue for quite a while tonight, Ariane.
That's right. That's right. My team, our in-space systems team, their job basically has just started, right? They're going to get that Blue Ring Pathfinder going. Maggie, can I ask you, we felt it down here in the studio. What was that rumble like as New Glenn was taking off?
It was hard to describe. It was the rumble, the railings shook, but also it was so bright, Ariane. That whitish blue light out there was just impossible to take our eyes off of. Everybody here was glued to their view right over there, and it's been just incredible.
Amazing. You can see on our screen there, we've got the executives. We see there in the middle, we've got our CEO. We've got Jeff Bezos. We have Dave Limp, our CEO. Mark Featherstone, who has been on this program since day one. I see the deputy of our New Glenn program losing it. This is a replay of the executives, of our team members, as New Glenn was taking off. Man, oh man, what a moment. And as Maggie was mentioning, what's so cool about when New Glenn takes off, not only is it bright like a lot of those rockets, but that LNG burns this beautiful, beautiful blue. And man, the skies over Florida were lit tonight. And New Glenn, Stage 2, continues its mission up to MEO. What a fantastic day. This team, Blue Origin, across this country, you guys should be so proud of yourselves. Getting to orbit is hard. There are not many countries, companies, whatever you want to say it, that have ever been to orbit. And y'all, we did it on our first go. Congratulations. That is huge. Denise, you've been at this company for several years. I've been here a decade. You've been here for 4 years.
Almost 5. Yeah, I actually, I started crying. I'm filled with excitement, and I'm just filled with gratitude. You know, like all of us play a small part in this success. It really does take thousands of engineers to really come together and work together to make this happen. And I'm just very grateful and humbled to be a part of it. And I'm also just so incredibly proud of our team. And I know we talked about the rumble, we anticipated it, and I knew it was coming when we cleared the pad, and it's still, I'm speechless. It felt like an earthquake here at the studio. It was, yeah, I'm very emotional, very happy, and very proud.
Congratulations. High five, girl.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a moment to reflect on the key moments of today's mission. We met many of our objectives today. We exceeded them. So some of those milestones, we had a clean liftoff. Man, oh man, I will never forget the view of those 7 BE-4 engines in the blue coming out of those nozzles. We had stage separation, a clean stage separation, a clean fairing separation. And then you know what? we reached orbit. Now, we are still going to take some time to deliver our to deliver our payload to orbit. As a reminder, the Blue Ring Pathfinder is going to stay attached to that second stage as it orbits the Earth, collecting all its data, testing all of that very important telecom and avionics technology that is going to roll right into our Blue Ring program, to the Blue Ring vehicle itself. Now, we didn't have booster landing, but man, we got close. And as we have said in the previous webcast, it is about collecting data. Data is the currency of success, and if, with that being the case, we collected so much data, and man, oh man, we were going to take that information, we're going to roll it back into the next New Glenn, which is literally over my shoulder, waiting to have all of that incorporated. I mean, all of this, the engineering that has gone into it, the testing.
And all the lessons learned, too. You know, these are really complicated, intricate engineering systems that we have designed, and it's really hard to do. And every time we get that data and we can infuse into the next iteration of it, of course, we have a GS1-2 right behind us. So there's another booster coming, and we're just so proud.
We cannot wait to bring you that next launch. I'm raring to go. Denise, it has been a joy to have you here. Thank you for all of your insights, for your joy, your passion. You exude Team Blue and New Glenn, Team New Glenn. Let me just ask you, what are you going to remember the most from this evening?
I think seeing that image of the 7 BE4s after it cleared the pad. I mean, again, we know from analysis and data what it's supposed to look like, what it might sound like, and we've envisioned it for years. And then to see it on the screen, it was honestly the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it has, again, as you said, we've all had these visions in our mind. We've had animations, like what we think it's going to look like.
Yeah.
But there is nothing like seeing that real booster, the real, you see that flame come out from the base of that vehicle as it took off. It is just insane. Thank you so much for being a part of today's webcast. It really has been an honor to be with you, to take part in our first New Glenn webcast. And to our viewers, thank you for joining us. To our customers, to the Defense Innovation Unit that is supporting our Blue Ring Pathfinder. Thank you very much to you. You have been supporters of the Pathfinder, but especially of Blue Ring. You are believers. Now, you know what? I know Team Blue has a lot to celebrate. I don't know if there's going to be too much work going on tomorrow as we celebrate all of this. Everybody, Mission 1 is in the books. I cannot wait, and I look forward to seeing you all back here again soon as we get New Glenn 2 ready to launch. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I think we've got one last way that we can get our viewers engaged.
Yes. So I do want to speak a little bit more about Team Blue. You know, we talked about the hard work and all the cool engineering that we do here and just the immense pride that we have for what we do. So if you're watching this and you're feeling inspired or energized by what we accomplished today, about what Blue Origin is, our values, we would love for you to come join us. So we've got hundreds of positions available, manufacturing jobs specifically in the Space Coast, Florida, Huntsville, Alabama, West Texas. Of course, we have our headquarters in Seattle, Washington. Just visit our website at blueorigin.com/careers. We would absolutely love for you to come help us build this incredible road to space.
And we should also note, for others watching, perhaps you want to help us celebrate this momentous occasion for us. We've got some really cool launch gear in our shop. You can pick up the mission patch from today. There it is. That's pretty cool. We've got all sorts of really cool mission gear. Check us out online. That's a mean-looking patch right there.
It really is. And you know, this patch is a special one. You notice It was also the payload fairing that we saw throughout the broadcast. It had the same decal. It features New Glenn on the pad at LC-36, and it's surrounded by Team Blue, just watching it lift off, just like we did this evening. So these are so cool. You know, I love collecting those space patches. It's almost like a badge of honor after you work a few missions. So if you're interested, it's available in our shop.
Yeah, I have, you know, as mentioned, I've been at this company for over 10 years. I was here for New Glenn 1. I was here for the first landing of I was here for New Shepard 1. Yeah. Should be very clear. New Shepard 1.
You're also here for New Glenn 1.
I also happen to be here for New Glenn 1. Here for New Shepard 1. I was here for New Shepard 2, the first time we landed New Shepard. I'm kind of thinking that we're like on that trajectory too. I've been lucky enough to collect all of those patches. This tonight feels like one of those moments. Like, as we've talked about, we are opening a new chapter for this vehicle, for this company, for our customers, and as we build the road to space for the benefit of Earth, today was such a momentous step. Thank you again to all of our viewers who tuned in to watch this historic launch. New Glenn, Blue Origin, we are so proud. You can continue to follow the mission and all of our progress on X and all of our social media channels. We're going to track the payload up to its final destination. We'll have more information on what happened to our booster, so stay tuned to that. Another big thank you to the Defense Innovation Unit and the many, many people at Blue Origin who spent years designing this rocket, building it, testing it, getting ready for today, and lastly, believing in this vehicle and in this program. I want to also say thank you to the FAA and to the range for supporting us. Today on our first flight, we gave them a little bit of extra work this evening. And to the state of Florida, from the governor on down, thank you so much. We love being down here in Florida. Everybody, this is going to conclude our first mission of New Glenn, NG-1. The next era of space flight at Blue Origin is upon us. My name is Ariane Cornell. For Denise, Eddie, Maggie, and all of us here at Blue Origin, thank you for joining us. A very happy New Year to all, and we look forward to seeing you soon on our next launch. We're just getting started, and until next time, Granatum Ferociter.
Board. Lift off.
Checking for pressure for good, equals clear the tower. Now passing 18 seconds into flight. Thank you. Chamber pressure looks good. Chamber pressure continue to look good. Now seconds into flight.
Oh my God!
All 7 engines. You look good on